choosing the honesty, being honest with yourself about things that need to change. That's an honest factor for you. You know you need to change that, but some of us are in denial too of some things that we need to address. So that's good.
Love you, brother. Anyone listening to this, love you. If you're struggling with anything, be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Don't be a judge of yourself. Understand that there are people out there who are going to help you, but you first have to have the courage to want to help yourself.
I think when you make music, you want people to hear it and hear different things, and then you want it to start a dialogue, because that's how we get to understanding. Excuse me. Oh, you felt that way about it. This is actually what I meant, because this happened and these things happened and led to me saying this specific thing.
It is always personal in Philadelphia. I am talking to the amazing Dr. Parham.
Pleased to be back.
Trained psychologist and natural healer who blends science mixed with spirituality to deliver his medicine. Dr. Parham, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm pleased to be here again to do the things we do best, right? Welcome, audience.
Audience, this time around, we're going to show you what it's like to deal with your insecurities and show you the power of vulnerability. I've been struggling with cigarette smoke, and that is one of my vices. So when you see me on Instagram, I'm fit, I'm very confident, but I noticed from reading the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, I'm still manifesting self-destructive behaviors.
Because in order for you to function as a healthy human being, you cannot function with dissonance, conflicting ideas in one person. Hence, lie detector tests. A lie detector test assumes that you're going to have a little problem with lying. So much so that it'll register on a machine. And unless you're a sociopath, that's usually what happens. So if a lie will register on a machine, how much more when you oppress an entire group of people for 246 years? Officially. Unofficially, much longer than that.
Dr. Joy DeGruy, author of my favorite book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. I'm so thankful for Dr. Joy DeGruy, and she continues to be the healing. And I'm so thankful for the conversations I've shared with my hero, Dr. Joy DeGruy. And I need help with getting through that. So in an effort to not be a hypocrite while I'm trying to make sure I strive for everyone else to be the best versions of themselves, that I'm also holding myself accountable in the process and showing you how to do the same. So when the ball drops, I'm calling 1-800-QUIT SMOKING.
There we go.
So I can actually hold myself accountable in this process. So I am in alignment with you guys. So I can actually be a healthy leader.
Truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtue. America's pathology is our denial. It is what keeps us sick around the issue of race. When I was doing clinical work and therapy, the only rule I had, and I worked with every walk of life imaginable, all the people nobody wants to work with, I worked with for 25 years. And my only rule to any people that stood in front of me was tell me the truth. Because if you cannot tell me the truth, then we cannot trust each other. And if we cannot trust each other, then we cannot have a relationship. And if we don't have a relationship, we have nothing. My only rule, tell the truth. And we need to tell the children the truth in particular.
That's excellent. Confession is good for the soul. Good for the soul that you confess that. And equally so, to give you credit, we all have vices, right? Vices that we use to escape tragedy or trauma that we're enduring at any given time. So kudos to you for confessing that first. You want to make a change. You want to change the pathology of where you're moving forward in. And your vice is cigarettes, and you know that's not serving the greater purpose, so it needs to go. So that's great.
Yeah, it's interesting because my daughters were the ones who got me off of the vice for a long period of time before, during lockdown. I couldn't hide the fact that I was smoking cigarettes. The smell was on me.
It resonated, yeah.
And they said, "Daddy, you're killing your lungs." And I said, "I know, baby, I'm so sorry." And she said, "Well, Dad, you got 3 days and you got to quit smoking cigarettes. So I said, at least you gave me 3 days. So it's almost the same thing, but just know that I'm doing this because I want to be around longer for my children.
Yeah.
The first step toward personal freedom is awareness. We need to be aware that we are not free in order to be free. We need to be aware of what the problem is in order to solve the problem.
Knowledge gained from the audiobook, 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I want to give off this image of perfection, but I'm not perfect. But I appreciate the fact that I'm not perfect, and I appreciate the fact that I have the courage to admit that I'm not perfect and to share that to the public, because I think the public can serve in some ways as my accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive, the risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans.
So I think a good pathway as we start to unpack this vice a little bit more, I have a question for you. I'd like for you to answer and let the audience hear this question. But when we think about our vices, they're always founded in something. And so do you know what the origins of what your vice is about? So you're using cigarettes, but what is the cigarette giving you after you smoke? That's what you're chasing, is that part. It's attached to something psychological. So we'll unpack that. But first question, what is this vice giving you after you have cigarettes? What do you feel after?
After I smoke a cigarette, I think more or less I have to think about during. It's soothing.
It's soothing.
So
okay.
All humans who are domesticated are sick. They are sick because there is a parasite that controls the mind and controls the brain.
growing up, my mom would tell you, I would play with her underwear because it was soft. And then later on, it would transfer to my hair. I would play in my hair when it was long. I would play in everyone else's hair, my sister's hair, Antoine and Mike's hair. I forget what kind of stimulation it is with the tip of your fingers.
Yep.
That was the stimulation that I wanted to be soothed with something soft.
Sure.
Almost like a baby with a pacifier.
Okay.
So the cigarette side of things, I think, is the soothing piece.
During our domestication, our parents and siblings gave their opinions about us without even thinking. We believed these opinions and we lived in fear over these opinions.
Sure. So you get soothing, but it also brings a sense of comfort. And I think when you take one thing away, you have to replace it with another. And so when you're thinking about quitting cigarettes, we also need to think about the psychological part of quitting cigarettes, because that's attached to what you use for comfort and soothing. What are you going to replace it with?
That's the hard one.
That's the part that you really have to work through, because just to stop is one thing, but you still have a need.
Yeah.
The need needs to be met.
In the past, I would grow out my hair
Okay.
and just play in my hair. That was
Okay.
soothing. Now I don't have my hair anymore. I don't play in my hair.
So we got to get you another replacement.
And that's interesting, because finding something soothing.
Yeah.
I find meditation to be soothing.
Okay.
But meditation is also difficult.
Okay.
It's difficult to smoke a cigarette.
The food for the parasite is the negative emotions that come from fear. If we look at the description of a parasite, we find that a parasite is a living being who lives off of other living beings, sucking their energy without any useful contribution in return and hurting their host little by little.
Yeah.
It's difficult to recognize your subconscious functions and stay in them.
Right. And so even with that, when we talk about methods, one is crock pot, takes hours to prepare, and one's a microwave. Which one tastes better?
Crock pot.
Crock pot. Takes longer though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so cigarette is your microwave. You can get some comfort, soothing instantly. Whereas meditation or something else is crock pot. It's going to be good for the soul, more healthier for your spiritual DNA and hygiene, but it takes a little longer to get in the groove and the rhythm of such.
But I have to lean into the self-honesty piece, because
Sure.
it is something I have to be soothed. So to your point, that's something I got to think about.
Yeah.
The parasite, the judge, the victim, and the belief system has control of your mind. It controls your personal dream. The parasite dreams through your mind and lives its life through your body. It survives on the emotions that come from fear and thrives on drama and suffering.
I have to really think about what I can do that's going to give me soothing to replace that in the meantime.
Sure.
And right now, I can't think of anything at the moment, but I'm pretty sure when I call for help, they'll probably have those tools.
Sure.
First is the mastery of awareness. This is to be aware of who we really are, with all the possibilities. The second is the mastery of transformation, how to change, how to be free of domestication. Intent is life itself. It is unconditional love. The mastery of intent is therefore the mastery of love.
And I think the reason why I wanted to point that out is because when we talk about changing, making decisions to change, often we don't think about why we do what we do. And that's part of the change first, is making a decision to change is one thing, but also understanding the origins of why we do what we do. And so when we start thinking about the psychology around our behaviors, our vices, the things that we do, it's attached to something. And so we need to work through that as we, go towards our healing.
That's the only thing I could think of was just the part that is soothing and somehow is wrapped into some form of self-hatred.
Self-hatred. Tell me a little bit more.
Well, how I understand it, the slave master was the actual, if not ideological, father of the slave family.
Folks started clutching the pearls. Oh my God. Not Thomas. Not our Thomas.
And I think in some way it's going to manifest itself in ways that is unconscious. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be a form of self-hatred. I love myself, but that's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's there, but it's there.
See, everybody black knew about Sally Hemings already. We all knew. As a matter of fact, I have some cousins in Louisiana. We call him out. Matter of fact, it's an anchor. Don't tell him. His name is Pierre DeGroux. He's my cousin, but we never get invited to the family gatherings because Pierre doesn't know about us, but we know about him. And so there's this whole notion of, the mixing and people, concerned. But let's look at what Thomas Jefferson, he becomes an important person too, right? Because if he said it, that's Thomas Jefferson. It must be what? True. Thomas Jefferson wouldn't lie to us. He's the father of our country. He really is the father of our country. Okay. I'm just saying, So.
That is the practice of smoking the cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there.
I think that's that, yeah.
And you would say it's attached to self-hatred.
I think it has to be.
It's called an active depression.
Yeah, go into that.
Okay, it's an active depression, which means it doesn't look like the depression that's in the DSM.
I'm just trying to figure it out for myself.
Okay. Yeah, we're giving our audience real time session. We're unpacking this and unveiling together, which is, I think, is good for the audience to hear. Okay, so let's go back. So you said you think it's a part of hating yourself?
That's what I don't know. I love myself dearly.
But Thomas Jefferson couldn't have folks knowing that, so he just simply asserted, they just require less sleep. Then he says something even more difficult and to even wrap your head around. He says we were incapable of feeling grief. Why would Thomas Jefferson need to believe such a thing? What was he doing that he needed to rest and wrap himself in that lie? He was selling mothers away from their infants, husbands away from wives, brothers away from sisters. Surely they cannot feel grief. That would make them human, like me.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it is I really enjoy smoking cigarettes. I wish they were good for you.
The decision to adopt the 4 agreements is a declaration of war to regain your freedom from the parasite. The 4 agreements offer the possibility of ending the emotional pain, which can open the door for you to enjoy your life and begin a new dream. It's up to you to explore the possibilities of your dream if you are interested.
They aren't.
All right.
Right. And it came about from being bored. I was just bored with one of my homies. I was like, he was smoking a cigarette. I was like, let me get one.
Religions talk about sin and sinners, but let's understand what it really means to sin. A sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin.
I started off super small. Now going back, unpacking. I would smoke cigarettes when I worked at my 9 to 5 at the law firm, just so I can get a break from being in the office all day.
Yeah.
And bonding with other folks at work too.
Very young children are not afraid to express what they feel. They are so loving that if they perceive love, they melt into love. They are not afraid to love at all. That is the description of a normal human being. As children, we are not afraid of the future or ashamed of the past. Our normal human tendency is to enjoy life, to play, to explore, to be happy, and to love. But what has happened with the adult human? Why are we so different? Why are we not wild?
Here and now, I still do it. I don't know why.
And what I understand about that is I have to get into the psyche of a 16-year-old boy and say, how could it be that at 16 he no longer wants to live? He can't see a place in the world for himself. And I'll tell you why. Because we're a man-object-oriented system which says that you are what you are based on what you have. You are measured by your things. That's why you have brothers walking around, don't have a home, don't have a car, but got 50 gold chains. Because I gotta wear some worth because I don't have any worth.
Right, tell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so January is cutoff time.
It's cutoff time, but it's time to actually, I need help. So I'm calling 1-800-QUIT because I think for a long time, I was afraid of asking people for help.
During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody.
I was tell you about a client that I had some time ago who had a very bad reaction to bleach. She would clean with bleach, her dishes with bleach. And I told her, I instructed her, do not use bleach, find a different cleaning solution. And she did for a long time. And when she started coming back, I started to notice those different spots on her skin. I didn't mention it to her, but I observed that they were back. So after some time, I said to her, you using bleach again? And she said, yeah, I tried for a long time. Nothing else cleans like bleach. So I said, let's talk a little bit more. Why do you keep using a substance, a liquid that's not serving you? I know it gives you the outcome that you think it's giving you, but it's not serving you. As we unpack, we later learned that the usage of bleach was attached to her childhood. When she smells bleach, she would think of her mom on Saturday mornings when they used to clean. When she smelled bleach, it always made her think of sweet home. And so what I'm saying is that the story that we tell ourselves can be connected to the vice. It's much more than just a habit. Usually there's a psychology or a narrative that's attached to such vice. So for your cigarettes, I'm just trying to unpack. You said self-hatred. I'm trying to figure out, you did try it with your friend, as you mentioned, and then it just became a habit. But I would say you're more attached to what the habit provides than the actual habit. I'm wondering if we identify a different, healthier vice that can get you the same outcome, the same comfort, the same soothing, and it would feel a little easier, like easily replace the usage of the cigarettes.
Yeah. I just want to rewind back. I think a lot of it comes from the need to always be stimulated.
Interesting.
Boredom.
Okay.
Boredom. So if you follow me on Instagram, my IG is Showcase001. On TikTok, I believe it's PB Podcasting. But I'm always into physical activities, Muay Thai, physical training, podcasting, barbering. And all those things are exciting. Even if I'm working a corporate job, those things are exciting. I find there's this need to constantly be stimulated.
Yeah.
To constantly be interacting with something. Most people would never know I smoke. Most people wouldn't know unless they smelt it on me.
Yeah.
But that's something that I'm going to try to change, in the sense that the colognes smelling really good for your family when you walk in, there's something about that person who's just like,
yeah,
super polished with what the scent that they give off.
That's right.
So that's one thing I think is going to be soothing, thinking about how people will receive me when I show up in a room, not just physically fit, but just smelling good.
There you go. Versus the cigarette scent. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Right. I think that,
so you have you now have a goal.
Yeah.
That's attached to that release. So that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
I'm giving myself to the end of the year. And that's one of the things I'm leaning into now. But
that's powerful.
Clarity. I need self-clarity to ask people for help.
Yeah, you do.
If I don't have clarity and I don't understand what I want, other people will find me confusing if I ask them for help.
Yeah.
So this is helping me do that. So yes, it is stopping, but it's also recognizing I am suffering and I need help.
You need help. There you go. You are in the power seat then right now. You're right where you need to be. Yeah. I need help.
But I believe this is really important because I'm showing you what it takes to be self-accountable, self-reflective.
Yeah.
Look at your imperfections. There's always something ugly about all of us. But only you can see that. You know what's ugly about yourself. So if you look in the mirror and you see that, how can we train ourselves to make a change?
Yeah.
How do we get people to actually dig into the courage piece of it, to be vulnerable enough to get help?
The freedom we seek is to use our own mind and body, to live our own life, instead of the life of the belief system. When we discover that the mind is controlled by the judge and the victim and the real us is in the corner, we have just two choices. One choice is to keep living the way we are, to surrender to the judge and the victim, to keep living in the dream of the planet. The second choice is to do what we do as children when parents try to domesticate us. We can rebel and say no. We can declare a war against the parasite, a war against the judge and the victim, a war for our independence, a war for the right to use our own mind and our own brain.
That's right. Part of that assessment too is when we look under the mental hood, is thinking through things that make us feel good. Because things that make us feel good doesn't always mean that it's good for us. So how do we start to unpack those things that we do that make us feel good to help us get through, but it's not good for us? We go to the food, eating the good foods. Some of those foods don't serve us well. It's not good for us. Certain habits that we have, it's not harming anybody, but it's not good for us. So I think we need to talk about the rubric and how we identify those things that need to change within ourselves. Because most of the time people go straight to the negative. They think, I gotta stop smoking cigarettes, or I gotta stop cursing, I gotta lose weight. But I would like to ask the audience, what are some other things that we do that doesn't serve us? It's not harming anybody. It's not necessarily harming us, but it doesn't serve us in the way that we need to be served or to help us bring out the best self.
You know, I want to jump into that. I'm seeing being a judge.
Okay.
Being a judge of myself, being a judge of others. And I'm leaning into the book, The 4 Agreements.
The 4 agreements were created to assist you in the art of transformation, to help you break the limiting agreements, gain more personal power, and become stronger.
That's right. That's a good one.
Right. Because even if I go and call for help and I slip up, if I were to judge myself along this path, it's going to make it that much more difficult to stay on course. So I think some folks judge themselves harshly, and in return, they project it outwards and judge others too.
I said, if I fall, I am strong enough, I'm intelligent enough, I can do it. I stood up and kept going. I fell and I kept going and going, and each time it became easier and easier. Yet, in the beginning it was so hard, so difficult. So if you fall, do not judge. Do not give your judge the satisfaction of turning you into a victim. No, be tough with yourself. Stand up and make the agreement again.
That's it. Yeah.
I gotta make sure I'm always using the word impeccably for myself and the others. I was actually thinking about it while driving. I got into this big argument with my father, and he said to me, this is my biological father, the reason why we're not in contact is because he's very toxic.
We use the word to curse, to blame, to find guilt, to destroy. Of course, we also use it in the right way, but not too often. Mostly we use the word to spread our personal poison, to express anger, jealousy, envy, and hate.
And he said something along the lines of like, I hope you catch lung cancer.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there thinking like, damn, like he put a curse on me by using the word.
Oh, absolutely.
How many times do we do this with our own children? We give them these types of opinions and our children carry that black magic for years and years. People who love us do black magic on us, but they don't know what they do. That is why we must forgive them. They don't know what they do.
So
Yeah,
so I'll make sure I'm use the word impeccably because it's the replay. It's the replay. I'm going to quit cigarettes. This time next year, I'll be fully cured of smoking cigarettes.
that's right. Speak it.
Right?
It is possible because I did it, and I am no better than you. No, we are exactly the same. We have the same kind of brain, the same kind of bodies. We are humans. If I was able to break those agreements and create new agreements, then you can do the same. If I can be impeccable with my word, why not you? Just this one agreement can change your whole life. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, to huge success and abundance. It can take away all fear and transform it into joy and love.
Another thing is always try my best. I'm going to be failing on this process. I'm always going to pick myself back up and try my best.
Try your best. Yeah.
Regardless of the quality, keep doing your best, no more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed, and in the end your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustrations, self-judgment, guilt, and regrets. Just do your best in any circumstance in your life. It doesn't matter if you are sick or tired. If you always do your best, there is no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, there is no way you are going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under.
So do you think that, with that being said, could that be another motivating factor, which your biological father said to you, to help, that could be more inspiration, proving him wrong?
I am my own inspiration. Everything I post on social media is not for other people. It's to motivate myself. When I look at the makeup of my father, he's like a womanizer.
I don't know mama's broken, so guess what is being modeled for me? Broken behavior. And guess what you all call it now? Cultural. That's just that culture. South where there's poison in the cookies. There's poison in what was cultural, because part of it's adaptive. That's how it got passed along. And by the way, we experience traumas too. It's not like the trauma stopped. Let's look at it. After slavery ended, did the traumas end?
I am far from that. I am a one-woman person, dedicated husband, dedicated father, heavily involved in my children's lives. So I basically took myself out of those generational curses.
Good. All right.
And I know myself well enough to know I have the courage and the dedication and the discipline to actually be successful. I know that about myself. I know that.
Okay, so let's do the math. 246 years of trauma, no help. Free, no help, more trauma. We're amazing people. We're amazing. Because we got this far with no help.
And to your point, yes, that'll be his confirmation.
Yeah.
That I'll motivate myself with exactly what you said, to actually be a better father to my children by recognizing what words can do.
That's right.
You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. When we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. They are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. It is painful to take that social mask off. If others say one thing, but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is on the way, and it's just a matter of time before things will be better for you.
Yeah, because words are things, and they do have power. So that's good. First correction. It's great.
I think those are pretty powerful tools for folks going into the new year to look in the mirror, see what's ugly about you.
Yeah.
Talk to yourself about it. Be vulnerable enough to share with others. Vulnerability requires courage. People who reject you, they aren't in your tribe. People who embrace you you're connected to your human family now.
That's right.
And you'll have the strength to get through the other end. Right?
Yeah. And also choosing the honesty, being honest with yourself about things that need to change. That's an honest factor for you. You know you need to change that, but some of us are in denial too of some things that we need to address. So that's good.
Love you, brother. Anyone listening to this, love you. If you're struggling with anything, be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Don't be a judge of yourself. Understand that there are people out there who want to help you, but you first have to have the courage to want to help yourself. And we can make it through this. And Dr. Parham, I love you, man.
I love you too, bro.
110%. Parham, you're incredible, man.
Appreciate it. Same to you, man. So thanks for inviting me again on the show.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Peace.
You can't have a solution until you start dealing with the problem. What you reveal, you heal. Right? If I have like a tumor and I ignore it, doesn't mean it goes away. I have to diagnose it first.
Right. I just want to let you know we have a studio line, and it's always Personal Philadelphia. If anything in this episode resonates with you, you can give us a call or text us at 609-451-0760. Again, our number 609-451-0760.